Today I'm going to give you the confidence to easily replace a PCV valve on a 97 through 2002 4.6 liter Ford F150 or Expedition, as they are in many ways the same vehicle. I'm also going to share with you some helpful hints that I learned that allow you to replace the PCV valve quickly and correctly. If you learn anything helpful, please leave a like down below and feel free to leave a comment. Here is what the replacement PCV valve looks like. This little plastic elbow on top is different than the 5.4 liter engine, and we'll talk about that little part later in the video. So let's start up the car, and immediately you'll notice what a lot of car owners have to deal with. The dreaded check engine light. Some of them say check engine, some of them it's a picture. This one says service engine soon. So I head down to the local AutoZone to get the codes read for my check engine light. Most auto parts stores will do this for free, and this is the printout that they gave us. Error codes P174 and P171. And after doing some research, I found out that these two codes could be solved by just purchasing a simple $5 part and installing it within less than 5 minutes, and I'll show you how. Now there's a number of other things that could be responsible for these codes, of course, but we'll start with the $5 fix first. So let's go to AutoZone real quick, make sure your vehicle is entered like so on the right here, and PCV valve, and we're given two results. Now I don't know about you, but when faced between a plastic and a metal part, especially when it's going to be plugged into the engine block, I'd tend to go with the metal part, but let's click on the plastic and see what happens. And this looks nothing like we clicked on. Further clicking reveals a nice shiny product. I have no idea what that plastic part is for. Sells for only $2.49, and they have it in stock. So let's go back and click on the performance metal part and see what we get. It basically says we're sorry, but there are no results for what you just clicked on. So they got one product for $2.49. Sounds a little cheap. Let's see what else we can find. So hopping over to Advanced Auto. I like Advanced Auto. Usually pay a few dollars more, but you'll get a higher quality part. So we are given two results that match the vehicle. One metal part and obviously one plastic part again. Let's click on the metal part. Okay, fits the vehicle. They have it in stock, sells for $4.99. The video is not helpful and still no hint of an elbow. The only resource available on the project that I found showed the part coming with this plastic elbow that we talked about earlier. Now I'm starting to think, what if I take the thing apart and the problem is actually the elbow and not the metal part you see right here? So I give a call down to Advanced Auto. They have a couple in stock, and I asked them to check the packaging, and they assured me that the elbow was actually included. So here's the packaging, here's the part number, here's the part, looks good. And here's the elbow that we want. Now looking under the hood, the PCV valve is right here underneath these two hoses. Now depending on your model and year, your hose configuration in this area will be different. However, the part and the part location are the same for these years. In fact, you will probably have better access to the repair, as these two hoses probably won't be in your way. So let's get a close-up shot here. Let's go ahead and peel these hoses back for a better view. Here is the metal component that connects directly into the engine block. Here is the elbow that connects to a hose, and it redirects excess pressure back into the exhaust system. Before disconnecting the old PCV valve, I made sure to clean this rubber grommet right here. That way we get a nice clean connection. It's usually a good idea to disconnect the battery before doing work under the hood. However, we do this also to reset the computer, so once the new component is installed, we can see if this resolves the check engine light. So we're going to disconnect the PCV valve from the engine. Just takes a little bit of wiggling. That way it'll make it easier to disconnect from the hose. So you can see the PCV valve is now disconnected from the engine block, and now we're going to wiggle it free from the hose. And it's a little easier said than done. In just a sec here I'll show you what I should have done to wiggle this part free. Here's a picture of the old part. I'm not sure if it's OEM or not. And the new part looks nice and clean. Difficult part was getting that plastic elbow to connect to the metal. Just had to push really hard, but really not much of a problem. Here's a tip if you have these two hoses in the way. Once you wiggle the PCV valve out of the engine block, you can run the PCV hose on top of these two hoses as shown here. This makes it much easier to actually use both hands to remove the old part from the hose and plug in the new part also. At this point, the new part plugs easily back into the engine block. So after reconnecting the battery, we start her up. Turn off the random AM radio station, and as you can see, the check engine light is off. That's because we reset the computer, and it takes several miles of driving to actually recalibrate to see if that light comes back on. Now I just want to give a listen under the hood. If the part was installed incorrectly, it should make a loud noise. The squeaking that you hear right now was there before, so everything seems good. And after several miles of driving, we're going to restart the car, hoping that the check engine light is off. Drum roll, please. Well, we didn't get the check engine light off, but we at least covered how to replace the PCV valve successfully. If you learned anything helpful, please give a thumbs up down below, and feel free to leave a comment, especially if you have any suggestions on what to do next.